What's up, Michigan State fans? It's Jacob Kotzeker here, back for another episode of the Michigan State Spartans Insider Podcast. The podcast for Sunday, May 3rd, 2026. Talking some football with you guys today, specifically here about I think, with this new staff, the staff, of course, led by Pat Fitzgerald, there is an increased uh, weight put on like the size, just simply the size of the players. And it's kind of something I wouldn't say I've recently noticed it, but it's just kind of as we're starting to see who they're interested in a little bit more in this 2027 class, especially in the trenches, you're starting to see them really, really hone in on a lot of targets who are really tall, specifically on the offensive and the defensive lines. Because again, they have four recruits now in the 2027 class on the offensive and defensive lines, and all of them are pretty tall or relatively. Jack Carlson, offensive tackle from Brighton, in-state recruit. He's 6'7". He would be tied for the tallest player on the roster right now. So there's again that's one guy right there. I'm trying to. Jack Schuler is the edge that they just got. Go with the other. Just go back to defense here. I believe he's 6'5", maybe 6'6". Again, for an edge rusher, pretty tall. Uh, oh, I think I'm trying to remember how to say the name right. Ohimai Ozola, another recent defensive lineman that they just got. I believe he's 6'6", 6'5". I think it depends on where you look. Interior defensive lineman, relatively tall, pretty tall. And then you go to interior offensive lineman Grant Adloff. He's 6'4". Interior offensive linemen don't have to be that tall usually. They're going to start Nick Sharp and Trent Fraley at left guard, and center almost certainly is coming fall barring injury. Nick Sharp is 6'2". Trent Fraley is 6'1". So I just think there's this increased. There's again the increased emphasis on just getting a bigger team, and I think that's something MSU fans can be look forward to, because I think to some level, it's just you're not going to get the super big 5-star, high 4-star talent, and be super flashy. That, like, say you're not going to be Ohio State, you're just not. So you have to find other ways here and there to try to make up those margins, and maybe just trying to simply get as big of a roster as possible. It would certainly be a very, very interesting strategy, because there's a couple of guys that they've gotten from the transfer portal as well who kind of fit this mold. Ben Morosky, 6'7", left. He's going to be your starting left tackle this coming season, because really, really good run blocker, just a mauler of a dude. He's a guy who I think could be an NFL draft pick for Michigan State this coming season. They got Trey Lyle, who's kind of a project piece. He's also 6'7", an edge rusher. Probably not a guy you're going to see play a ton this year, but like if he gets to a level of athleticism and has a couple moves in his bag, standing 6'7" as an edge rusher with those long arms, yeah, that might be a force to maybe not 2026 specifically, because he was at Southeast Missouri State at the FCS level, was kind of a rotational piece for them. So might take him a little bit to adjust to the Big Ten, to say the least. But if he does, Trey Lyles and I to keep on for 27 and 2028. He has 3 years of eligibility left as he joins the team here. Eli Conan is another one, interior defensive tackle. Began his career at Bemidji State, unknown guy. Obviously, if you're ending up at Bemidji State, who's an athletic program that's known more for hockey than football. And then he goes up to Illinois, rotational piece for them, but he graded out pretty well, I believe, on Pro Football Focus. And now he's at Michigan State as well. There's a very, very good chance to be a starter for the Spartans this season. He's 6'6". So it's just a lot of taller and taller guys coming into the program right now. I mean, there was a couple of 6'7" guys on the roster last year. I think like you're looking at like Ashton Lapo. I'm trying to think like Ben Nelson on the roster last year. But I think you're not seeing as intentional. It didn't feel as intentional. Like if that's what I'm trying to get at as well. And the other part, when you're talking about high school recruits, it's all in the Midwest. It's just been Midwestern for these linemen so far. I mean, you're not going to maybe exclusively be Midwestern. But for these four linemen that I just talked about, their height, they're all from the Midwest. Again, let me just go down the. Okay, I'm just trying to go down the list right here. Adloff's from Michigan. Jack Carlson is from Michigan. Ozolu is from Chicago. The very first Chicago recruit Pat Fitzgerald has gotten at Michigan State. Ozolu has also shut down his recruitment as well, like a day after he committed. So, don't have to lose too much sleep over him, even though he's a composite. I think he's a composite 4-star right now. And then I'm trying to I'm brain farting on the last name right now. Schuler, the guy that they just got. He's from Ohio. So you're starting to see that you're seeing that identity be formed. We're going to be big and we're going to be Midwestern. I've seen worse strategies. It's more of a strategy than what I saw during the Jonathan Smith era. Like that was part of the complaint for what Jonathan Smith did for 2 years here. Like, what is the team? Like, what are we hanging our hat on? Like, what are we going? What is the main values here? You're seeing that at least with Pat Fitzgerald. Is it going to lead to more wins down the line? We'll have to see. But you can at least very well like point at something that is going on. Like that's what they're going towards. So that's a positive sign because you can't be a good team without at least some form of identity. It's like you just don't see teams that are successful and you kind of talk about them like, oh, you don't have something in your mind about them, you know? So, you know, big and Midwestern, which sure, yeah. I mean, it's more old school in this day of college football, but that doesn't mean it can't work. Michigan State basketball does a more as far as old school goes, it's a little more old school than most programs tend to employ, but they're still making the tournament every single year. They're in the Sweet 16, they're in the Elite Eight, they won a Big Ten title. So you can't complain too much necessarily about old school until it starts losing. So we'll see. Obviously, we're a long way from football season still for now, but I mean, I just think that's something I wanted to point out here is, hey, there is an identity. There's something I can clearly point at to that from when I was there listening to Jonathan Smith talk to for about, for 2 seasons, there wasn't really much going on there. So steps in the right direction. I'm still not super bullish on this coming team. I still think you're looking at 5-7, 6-6, maybe 4-8. I think like the Vegas line's 3-5, 3.5. I'd be stunned if they go 3-9 personally, but hey, it's been a long 4 years of Michigan State football. You cannot get to the college football playoff. You can't get to the Big Ten championship game. You can't get past anything without taking those steps in the right directions. You have to crawl before you can walk, and you have to walk before you can run, and have to run or jog, say, before you can sprint. You just got to be pointing upwards, and it hasn't been pointing upwards in a long time, really, since Kenneth Walker left. So yeah, I mean that maybe you're grasping for straws here and there, but hey, people want positive signs for anything as far as the football team goes right now. But hey, that's what I've got for you guys today. We'll be plenty of written content coming your way very, very soon at SpartanNation.com and at Michigan State Spartans NSI. There is pretty much every single day. So yeah, you can go get that at those two places. You can, wherever you're watching and listening to this, there'll be more podcasting content coming your way right here. And thank you once again if you've gotten this far. But yeah, signing off, I'm Jacob Katsanika. I'll see you guys around.